Welcome back to Comicstorian Gaming, where we do a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, we sit around and have stupid times on video games, and also, we love to tell you the stories of your favorite video games. Today, we decided why not tell you the good story in Call of Duty Black Ops, and not include Black Ops 3, because overall, Black Ops 1 and 2 and World at War are the good storylines. You see, it all begins in World War II with the game World at War. While Private Miller and Corporal Roebuck are fighting their way across the Pacific Theater with the US Marines, the Red Army is fighting against the Nazis in Stalingrad. There, the Red Army Private Dmitry Petrenko meets Sergeant Viktor Reznov. Working alongside the Red Army, the two soldiers help push the Nazis out of Stalingrad and they fight their way to Berlin. Eventually, the war ends and both the Japanese and the Nazi regime are defeated, bringing the end of the World at War game. But then that brings us to Black Ops 1. Flash forward to 1968. CIA agent Alex Mason finds himself strapped to a chair. A mysterious voice begins to question him, demanding answers about his actions, about the numbers. Mason's memories begin to get fuzzy, but his mind flashes back to 1961, to one of his previous missions. During the Bay of Pigs, Mason was a part of the team sent to assassinate Fidel Castro. Unfortunately, the team screws up and kills one of Castro's body doubles. During the escape, Mason is captured and handed off to the Russian general Nikita Dragovich and sent away to the Vorkuta Gulag. During his time at the Gulag, Mason meets and befriends former soldier Viktor Reznov. The two men orchestrate an uprising among the prisoners and they manage to escape the Gulag. And then 1 month later, Mason is returned to the US and is brought to the Pentagon. Mason has a new handler, Jason Hudson, and the two men are given the task of assassinating Dragovich. Working alongside Frank Woods and Joseph Bowman, Mason is sent to Russia to destroy their space program and assassinate the general. While the launch is stopped, Dragovich manages to escape. Vowing revenge, Mason spends 5 years hunting Dragovich down. The SOG team is deployed to Vietnam during 1968, where they fight against the Communist Russia's involvement in the war. During the Tet Offensive, Mason manages to recover the information about a Russian defector, and that defector is Viktor Reznov. Meanwhile, Hudson finds himself in Hong Kong, working to find a doctor that is working for Dragovich. However, before he can finish his interrogation, the doctor is killed and Hudson must flee from Dragovich's men. But, still strapped to a chair, Mason is telling his story, and he tells them about Dragovich from Reznov's perspective after World War II. You see, Dragovich's unit discovered a Nazi chemical weapon known as Nova 6. Dragovich wished to test that weapon alongside his friend Lev Kachenko and Dr. Steiner. And Dr. Steiner decided to test it on his own soldiers. In the Gulag, Reznov makes Mason promise that he will avenge the death of his friends if Reznov doesn't escape. Mason continues his story with his unit in Vietnam then. You see, in Vietnam, after investigating a Russian spy plane and discovering canisters in Nova 6, the SOG team is actually captured by the Viet Cong. Meanwhile, Hudson is sent in with a team to a Russian base in the Ural Mountains. Though the base turns out to be a trap, Hudson is contacted by Dr. Steiner, who asks to be taken in by the Americans before Dragovich has a chance to tie up loose ends. Woods and Mason manage to escape, with Mason meeting up with Reznov. The two men manage to steal a Russian hind, and they fight their way to a base with the mission of killing Kravchenko. However, the Russian takes his own life with a belt of grenades. Mason and Reznov manage to find the intel that leads them to Rebirth Island, a secret Russian base where they test biological weapons. Hudson leads an assault team against the facility while Mason manages to sneak inside with Reznov. Mason manages to get to Steiner first and watches as Reznov executes the doctor. However, Hudson is watching the scene from behind a window. Mason is alone, ranting about how he and Reznov will have his revenge. Still strapped to a chair in the interrogation room, Mason is shocked to discover that his captor is Hudson. The agent is trying desperately to break Mason's brainwashing. He reveals to Mason that he was reconditioned to be a Russian sleeper agent while captured in the Gulag. But Reznov reconditioned the reconditioning, using Mason as a tool for his revenge against Dragovich. The real Reznov was actually killed during the escape, and Mason has been fighting on his own this whole time. Mason is finally freed of his brainwashing and he realizes where the numbers being broadcast are coming from. He leads the CIA to an underwater broadcast station, and the broadcast is stopped, and Dragovich is finally killed. Now we go to Black Ops 2. Jump forward to 2025. David Mason and Mark Harper are visiting an aging Frank Woods in a special operations retirement home. They begin to question him about the location of Raul Menendez. Frank tells them that Menendez recently visited him and begins to tell them about the past. In 1986, Alex Mason was living in Alaska with his son David. But Alex was asked to come out of semi-retirement by Jason Hudson for a special mission. Woods had gone missing with his team and had been disavowed by the CIA in Cubango. Mason and Hudson managed to rescue Woods and locate Menendez in the jungle. Unfortunately, the man manages to escape, and Woods reveals that Menendez is the one who murdered the team. After learning this, Mason and Hudson begin to hunt down Menendez, who has established himself as an arms dealer, selling weapons to the highest bidder in South America and Latin America. He continues to evade capture and begins to sell arms across the Russian-controlled Afghanistan. It seems that Menendez has a personal vendetta against the West. It is revealed that his sister was injured during a fire that was started by an American businessman for insurance. To add to this, Menendez's father, a powerful drug lord, was also killed by a CIA team. Mason, Hudson, and Woods lead a team against Menendez's home in Nicaragua, where Woods accidentally kills Menendez's sister with a grenade. Menendez then begins to escape and begin a personal war against those that he believes have wronged him. During the invasion of Panama in 1989, Menendez kidnapped Hudson and David Mason, using them to set up a trap for Mason and Woods. He tricked Woods into shooting Mason, killing Hudson, and crippling Woods. But he lets Woods and David live, promising to return and finish the job when the time is right. 3 decades have passed, and Menendez has become the head of Cordis Die. He has started a new Cold War between China and the US, and he is trying to start a large-scale war between the two by staging attacks against both of them. David Mason, now a Navy SEAL commander, leads his team on a search for Menendez under the JSOC command. Mason leads his team to Myanmar, where they discover that Menendez has a machine that allows him to hack any computer device. They head to Pakistan, where they learn that Menendez has a target known as Karma in the Cayman Islands. And heading there, they learn that Karma is actually Chloe Lynch, who worked on the hacking device for Menendez in one of his shell organizations, and is marked for execution to tie up loose ends. Mason's team continues to hunt Menendez down, eventually recapturing him in Yemen. But Menendez meant to be captured, and uses this as an opportunity to be brought aboard the USS Obama and gain access to the US drone fleet. Menendez uses drones to attack the G20 summit in Los Angeles, and Mason's team is deployed to secure the president. JSOC manages to learn the location of Menendez's hacking signal and deploys Mason's team to Haiti. There, they fight against the villain's forces, stopping the signal, capturing Menendez once and for all. With this done, Menendez's involvement in sparking the war is brought to light, and China and the US enter into an alliance with one another. It's revealed that Alex Mason survived the shot that Woods took against him, and he visits his old friend in retirement. Menendez is locked away, forced to watch as the world comes together despite his efforts. And that is the ending of Black Ops 2. Now, Black Ops 3 does exist, but its story is kind of disconnected from everything else. It travels into the future. It gets a little weird. But it looks like we're getting a reboot with Black Ops 4. I personally haven't done the storyline yet, but I'm going to be very soon. Everything came out in November. I got a lot of games to play, guys. I know you do. But what did you think about the crazy and confusing storyline of Black Ops 1 and 2? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Personally, that and Modern Warfare, they're my favorite storylines in Call of Duty. And since there's like 16 games, there's plenty to gauge it against. We have Advanced Warfare, we have Infinite Warfare. What was the one that had Kevin Spacey in it? Does anyone even remember that one? I think it was Advanced Warfare. I don't know. I liked that one's multiplayer. That was fun. Either way, guys, let us know in the comments down below which story you would like us to cover next here at the channel. We're going to be going back into some Destiny lore. We're going to be going into some Final Fantasy lore, but there's plenty of other games that you guys want to know what's going on, such as Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you next time right here at the Comicstorian Gaming channel.